The world has been changed by technology, and it has created a tale of two people. Now we have people that are digital natives, born in this era. That is why my 3-year-old daughter can pick my phone, find where the games are, download it without anybody teaching her. And there are people that are digital migrants who were already born before this technological changes happened. But the challenge is that we have digital migrants making policies for digital natives. So it becomes a problem. Now, if you go back to history, you discover that from the light bulb, to the calculator, to the computer, to the smartphones. I remember when I was in school and the first time in our department that they brought a computer system and I touched it and I saw it, it was wow. And the guy did a screensaver. And put the name of our department. All of us in the school auditorium stood up and we were clapping hands watching. Thank God it was not recorded because I would have been feeling embarrassed now. You know, clapping. Now, computer is no longer the issue. Every new technology is always have this wow factor. But at the end, it becomes normal. I was watching a video where the first time they on the light bulb. They gather for celebration. Now we are here and all lights are here. Nobody's interested in it. And so what we're about to see is the change that has transformed our world. Now, with this technological advancement, we've had some social dislocation. Some people, new industries are created. Some people also get into poverty. And it keeps on changing. So if you don't adapt, you may go the way of the rattlesnake, that the wave is coming stronger and better. Now, let me just track a little bit. Coming to the newest invention, which is the internet. You know, internet changed everything. You know, beginning with the first level of the websites. The development of the internet made a website like Alibaba more worth, you know, a lot of money, bigger than a lot of physical conglomerates that we see today. At the advent of that website has also dislocated. I know a friend of mine, those days he used to book flights for us, Enugu here. And sometimes when he books a flight, he will call us back and say, the flight is fully booked. After some 10 minutes, he will call back and say, but I'm going to do something. So I wonder, if the flight is fully booked, what are you going to do? Are you going to move people down and put us in? He's looking for extra cash. He may demand for 3,000, 5,000, I will give to him. Suddenly, with the advent of the internet and websites, all the airlines went online. And I can book my flight, check myself in, and come to collect. The man woke up without any skill, discovered that he had no job again. He may go back to the village and say, man, somebody in the village is doing me something. Nobody is doing anything. Technology comes and dislocates. The second layer of the technology is the social media, where we see a 14-year company has surpassed 30-year media conglomerates. A 14-year-old company, Facebook, has over 2 billion journalists on pay. And all of us are the content creators and build a lot of things. And so, as we build the level from one level to another, technology was asking questions. The advent of the website, the advent of the email, the advent of the social media, all of them are internet protocol of information. It has helped access information faster. There are a lot of things Facebook has done in changing the dynamics. You know, it's not a news. There are certain information we would have had now if there's no Facebook. It has changed a lot. You see elections being affected and all manner of stuff. But now, the good part of the thing is that people are empowered. But the other downside is that everything about the technology still remains in the olden way of centralization, because all your data is in one place. All these companies, they have your data, and they have the authority. They use the data and they use it to create work, but the people don't enjoy. And we cry for democracy. Now, if we must democratize, then technology must also help us. And I believe that. And so the world started thinking, what do we do to be able to what? Decentralize information in such a way it can reach everybody. Because what the central system does is to create that trust. Like the banking sector, like all the sectors, they create that trust. I want to move my money to you. The bank balances the ledger and confirms the transaction. So the middleman plays the trust. Now, but the issue is that when few people are in control of that information, there is tendency of abuse. There is tendency for people to use the power that they have of control to, override the society. So the big question is, how do we bring transparency in such a way that everybody will know that every eye is watching you? And in 2009, a technology was born for the internet of value, and that technology is called the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology is a mutually distributed ledger that keeps all digital transactions completely secure, make it safe from hacking, and everyone is going to see it. Nobody is going to, hide anything from it. It was the underlying technology that gave birth to cryptocurrencies that a lot of people hear about, like the beginning is the Bitcoin. And they began the journey. We are now, you can move money from one place to another at little or no cost. Recently, I was in Ghana for a conference, and I expended the cash I had, and I wanted to go and withdraw money. And I was told I had a limit of 400 Ghana cedis. And they charged me 15 Ghana cedis for that transaction. And I was so, wow. Now, this money is going into hands. Now, but in the same place, people transacted money with me through the blockchain, and nobody charged me much. And I got it immediately. There was no limit to what I can move. Now, because we must understand that until the power is given to the people, change does not happen. The blockchain is actually the real power to the people, not like the political parties we talk about. Now, so with that advent, now it began to look at the monetary system. To move money from here to the United States of America can take you 5 to 7 working days. Now, to fly money from here to America can take you 24 hours. But to move money on the blockchain can take you maximum of 10 minutes. And it's cheaper. That's why wise men made a statement and said that in the future, financial transactions will be free, secure, and everyone can have access to it. So the blockchain began to look at several aspects of the industries. And now, there are opportunities that this technology is bringing to the world today. And what are these? That's why I believe that Africa has the biggest opportunity and the platform to be able to get into this. Nations like Dubai already have giant ideas that by 2020, their whole government transactions is going to be on the blockchain technology. And it's going to save them 25 million man-hour per annum. That's prosperity. Now, nations around the world, so if I'm going to give you the breakdown of the opportunity that I see for me, that is why I am actually a blockchain evangelist, trying to make sure that we ourselves in the African continent will be able to understand this. Number one is going to create transparency. We cry every time there is voter fraud. We cry every time that people are not engaging in politics. But number one, blockchain has been proven that it can be adopted to election processes. Just a couple of days ago, West Virginia test-run their primaries on the blockchain. There are several other countries that are looking at that because you can't rig the election anymore. Because whatever is happening on the blockchain, everybody is seeing it real time at the same moment. So number one is going to save a lot of costs. If you know the cost of our Nigeria election for 2019 is enough to give somebody ₦1 million. And somebody said humorously, give us the money and continue your tenure. And that's cost. But with the blockchain, it becomes easy. That money will get back into the economy. Number two, it will make people to be engaged. Nigerians in diaspora cannot vote. But whatever is happening in Nigeria affects them. But with the blockchain, there is borderless. There's no border. One thing the blockchain doesn't understand, it is what? Borderless in its approach. So it's going to be, election is going to be transparent. That is why the not you too young to run is actually an opportunity because some of these money bags, you may not withstand them. But when it is transparent, everyone can be empowered to begin to fight in the system. It's going to make it cheap. It's going to also not differentiate involved in the whole ecosystem. It's going to help. Number two, it's going to help in the monetary system that we have. You know that the fact of the matter is in the nearest future, we'll be doing banking without banks. Banks will be translated to financial technology company. Don't doubt it. About 400 years ago, there were no banks. Banks existed. And number two, banks is not government, it's a private business. They are going to transform into what is called financial technology companies. where they help to monitor transactions, maintain transactions, and confirm transactions. That is the key. That's what's going to be happening. It's going to make funds transfer easy. There are over 2 billion unbanked people on planet Earth, but they all have phones in their hands. And so with the blockchain technology, anywhere you can have phone and you have access to a network, you can have your banking stuff. So it's going to empower and create an integration of a lot of people that have been removed. It can help also in microcredit. I was talking to somebody, I said most of the times, with ignorance, most of the times, some of the credit facilities are given to people in quotes that don't need it. That's true. Giving in quotes to people that don't need it. Now, there are a lot of people that need it. Blockchain is going to create an opportunity and a platform for a lot of people to access microcredits and be able also to build wealth and create wealth on their own. So it's going to affect the financial institution. It's going to affect also land registry. I've been involved. 80% of cases in Nigeria has a lot to do with land issues. Somebody will sell the land and go and get another CFO and resell. We've got some issues that we're dealing with. We bought some properties. The same person that we gave the money went and caught some and resold it because he felt that's a religious body, we may not go to challenge it. And for the past 3 years, the case is on. And somebody knows that it's wrong. But when digital rights are encoded on the blockchain and I move that property from me to you, then nobody can change it. Nobody can adulterate it. So it safeguards. It reduces a lot of things in the judicial system. Currently now, Georgia is already putting all their lands on the blockchain. Sweden, a lot of nations are already coming on board. It will reduce a lot of issues. Schools is going to serve as a major database that is going to make every single, people do what I call forgery, and you move your transcript, you change it, and all manner of stories, whether your NYC certificate is correct or whether anything is correct. With the blockchain, there won't be question because everything will be digitized and everything is encrypted and everything is there. I want to ask a question. What will it be like to see our young people wake up and somebody discover that I have an idea and I want to raise funds, but I cannot beat up what the big companies are doing to raise funds. With the blockchain, there is what is called crowdfunding, where companies that are startups can initiate what is called initial coin offerings or tokenized asset offerings and raise enough capital to be able to do what they have as a project. And it's highly empowering to a lot of them. And it's going to create a comprehensive change. Now, bringing it to eco-solutions. I have some group of guys who are working currently now. They got this idea about tokenizing, what's it called now? Plastic waste. From research, it has been shown that by 2050, there will be more plastic waste in the sea than fishes. Now, what do we do now that some of the people, we can engage our communities? Instead of hiring one body, you engage the communities. As you gather your plastic waste, it is tokenized into different assets. And that asset is tradable and convertible. And so individuals can do something. What about desertification? People can also tokenize. Each tree you plant has a token and is on the blockchain and is traceable. And that token is also sellable, and it will make everyone in the community to be engaged in the environment. As I begin to round up my discussion, I want to take it in this direction. The wave is strong. The wave is powerful. Those that resist the direction of the wave would naturally go the way of the dinosaurs. Before now, it has been cowries. Secondly, we got into metals. Thirdly, the gold helped. Fiat money came into being. We started talking about cashless society. We are now talking about cardless society. In no distant time, the digital assets with the blockchain technology will sweep across the world. And when people wake up as young people, it is a platform for major wealth transfer. Just like the oil industry, just like we see the first level of internet that transferred wealth, that what we now have what is called underage billionaires and millionaires. With the blockchain now, it will equate people. Now, let me give you an example, without bias to any nation. A gentleman from Africa will put his effort on ground. And after putting his effort on ground, he generates a value, and that value is measured at 1 million. Now, some other person in another clime, maybe somewhere in another country, generates the same effort, and that effort is worth 10,000. Simply because I am in Nigeria, my 1 million is 1 million naira. Some other person in another place is 10,000 is 10,000 euros. Naturally, the person is already 4 times richer than me. I am not the one that did that. It is the economy I am in. But now, assuming that I am involved in the digital asset and I have 10,000 of this asset and someone over there has 5,000 of it, it has shown that I can be rewarded for my intellectual capability and my investments and my energy. And so, in summary, there are ways also what people can create wealth by mining. Nations like Russia, grandparents give birthday gifts for their children to learn how to mine digital assets. Nigeria, I don't know what we give. Nations like China are doing competition on mining of digital assets because this is the future. The current monetary system we have is already going out of the door. In the next 1 century, those that understand it, my kids may not know what is Naira because Naira was not here before 1973. And who told you it will be here 2025? I rest my case. God bless you.